The Los Angeles Rams were dominating the Eagles to the point where they had a 26-7 lead in the third quarter of the game. This same Rams team ended up losing 33-26. This being the largest blown lead in the second half for any team since 1982. So what in the world happened? I'm going to be diving into the offense, the defense, and the special teams, and what was the reason the Rams lost this game. But before I go any deeper into this, I just want to address a narrative that I've seen all over the place with people blaming one player, one coach, whatever the case may be. A loss like this, and how historic a loss like this loss is definitely not on just one player. When you have a loss like this, everybody has their hand in it, and unfortunately that was the case in the Rams game today. Okay, let's start with the offense. The offense was actually moving very easily on this Eagles defense, especially in that first half. The biggest problem for the Rams offense came in the red zone, and this has been a theme for the Rams in the Sean McVay era. When you look at the Rams red zone efficiency, they had 1 touchdown on 8 attempts. I mean, that's just terrible. This Rams offense really didn't have a problem moving between the 20s, but it was every time they got inside of the 20 with an opportunity to get a touchdown, the drive would stall out for one reason or another. The main reason typically was poor execution. The first example being in the second quarter with about 9 minutes left, the Rams were up 10-7, and they ended up getting a field goal on this drive. This was the drive that Kyren Williams had the touchdown run that would have made it 17-7, but it was called back to an egregious holding call on Coleman Shelton. I don't even really know what he was doing there. But even before that holding call, you had Davante Adams on a slant route that was wide open for a touchdown, and Stafford uncharacteristically just missed him. A theme that continued throughout the day. So instead of being up 17-7 with about 9 minutes left in the second quarter, the Rams were only up 13-7. Luckily though, the Rams defense did get a 3-and-out and got the ball back in the Rams offense's hands. We were driving the ball very easily once again and got into Philly territory. It was a 3rd and 5. We had a wide open out route to Davante Adams, and Stafford missed again. Now you can't say that this drive was guaranteed to get a touchdown on it, but they were moving pretty easily, and the fact that Davante Adams was open for that first down and we just completely missed it, you never know what's going to happen on that drive. So let's just say, best case scenario, the Rams get a touchdown on that drive as well, like they should have the drive before that. Well, then the Rams would have been up 24-7. But instead of that, it was only 16-7. The Rams were leading. Luckily though, the defense comes in clutch again. We get the ball back and it's getting closer to half. We're driving again into Eagles territory. We have another 3rd down. Puka Nakua's on a crossing route. He's wide open and Stafford overthrows him. Again, who knows if this drive turns into a touchdown or not, but with how easily they were moving, you never know what could have happened. Let's just say once again, best case scenario plays out. They get another touchdown. The Rams would have been up 31-7, but instead it is only 19-7. We reach halftime, and after that concludes, of course, Jared Verse gets that awesome strip sack, which sets up the Rams offense in the red zone, being their only time to be able to convert for a touchdown to Kyren Williams there. That put the Rams up 26-7 at that point, but if they had done a better job at converting those threes into touchdowns earlier in the game, that actually would have been 38-7. Now, of course, you can't just say every 3rd down that was missed just makes us miss out on a touchdown. You can't just say that fully guaranteed, but this is just trying to illustrate some of those offensive issues that the Rams had. Unfortunately, the momentum was building for the Eagles, and they brought this game all the way back 21-26 as we were transitioning from that 3rd to 4th quarter. The Rams had a 3rd and 1 at about the 50-yard line. They had a play action deep pass on a post to Davante Adams, who was open for what looked like it could have been a touchdown, but Stafford missed him again. So instead of the Rams having a 33-21 lead, even with all those miscues in the first half on the offensive side of the ball, this ends up being 26-21 with the Rams lead that didn't end up lasting the rest of the game. The Rams were 3 for 10 on 3rd down, and their offense was 1 for 8 in the red zone. And for us Rams fans, this is just frustrating because you have the offense on paper. You've invested so much draft capital and finances into the offense. This is supposed to be a big strength of your team, and when you're struggling kind of earlier on in the season, especially in that red zone, converting those 3s into 7s, that's just obviously frustrating because that ended up costing you the game. We have no question that this Rams offense can move the ball. They had 160 rushing yards between Blake Corum and Kyren Williams, and the passing offense was looking pretty good too, but you had a lot of those miscues and just kind of a weird off day that we don't normally see from Matthew Stafford that kind of held us back on the offensive side of the ball. The Rams offense scored 1 time in the second half, which was that touchdown right after the Jared Verse strip sack, and then after that it was just nothing for the last 2 quarters. You got to be able to score more than that. I was very impressed with the Rams defense in the first half. They kept the Philly offense to just 34 total offensive yards and 1 first down, and they were really stopping Saquon Barkley all throughout this game, holding him to 46 total yards. The Rams game plan to make Jalen Hurts beat you was really working for a while until after that second half they really found what worked. It felt like after that Dallas Goedert touchdown up the seam, we had some bleeding on the defense, and then the bleeding turned into more bleeding, and it just spread throughout the whole body. because while the Eagles couldn't really run the ball the way they wanted to, they were still putting together long drives that were chewing up the clock, but not enough to be able to chew up too much clock. So they were wearing down our defense, they were moving down the field, and they were doing actually really well in the red zone. They weren't really settling for those field goals, and they were converting into touchdowns. The Rams defense let up 4 conversions out of 5 fourth down attempts, which is just unacceptable. There were a lot of chances to be able to get off the field in that second half and to be able to keep the momentum on our side, but we just let them continue to march down the field. I really do feel like you felt the absence of Ahkello Witherspoon here in the cornerback room, and as well as just the matchup not being great of AJ Brown on Darius Williams and Emmanuel Forbes. It's just not a great matchup. You could really feel the secondary and more so the cornerback room that was struggling without Ahkello there. And when you look at the special teams, it's a really weird dichotomy between the first half and the second half, because the first half of special teams was a big reason why the Rams were winning the game. With that weird kind of kickoff that they were doing to the Eagles in the first half, we pinned them inside their own 10 on a normal kickoff 3 different times. And when the Eagles drive stalled out, that would give us really good field position. So the special teams was doing a really good job of actually helping us out there in the field position game. Then when you look in the second half, you had those 2 field goal kicks that ended up getting blocked. I really don't know how you have a kick get blocked 2 times in a row, especially after you already see it 1 time. I had that feeling in my heart when I was watching it where I was like, I feel like this is going to get blocked again. Sure enough, it ended up getting blocked again. A lot of people are going to point to this as the fact that the Rams lost this game. This is the reason. If you just block the kick, you win the game. Well, that's true on paper, black and white. Yes, if you just block that up better, he's likely going to make that, especially with 2 opportunities. But to me, as I look at this game, it's a complete team effort, and it's a complete team loss. In the first half, it was a complete team win. Second half, complete team loss, and everything fell apart as a team. With the Rams offense just not executing at the level that they should, especially with the talent that they have. The Rams defense just continuing to let the Eagles march down the field, have all those 4th down conversions, and not really be able to stop the bleeding. And then the special teams not being able to block enough to be able to get a kickoff. This is a very uncharacteristic Sean McVay loss, and I don't think we're going to see it again. I think the positives is this is a week 3 game in the middle of September. This may dictate seeding. You may not get the number 1 seed anymore. We'll see. There's still a lot of football left, but I'm just happy that this was not a playoff game. This is a game to learn on and hopefully use this adversity, as the Rams always talk about, to make yourself a better team. If my blood is boiling and I'm frustrated about this loss, and I'm sure all of you guys are, you got to think about what the Rams are thinking about, and hopefully they're able to use that energy to be able to correct those mistakes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are down below on why we lost this game. As always, I'm Rams House. Horns up and God bless.